Hello, this is Jumbo Commander, and I'm talking about tribes today, and the possibility of what tribes will be found in Commander 2017. First thing I want to do is talk about the top 4 tribes. If you're building a commander deck, odds are you're using one of these top 4 tribes. First up, zombies. Zombies is the #1 tribe for Commander. But I don't think that it's going to be one of the tribes in Commander 2017, and here's why. Gisa and Geralf was recently printed. Great zombie commander. There's also a lot of zombie movement in Standard. Lord of the Accursed, Diregraph Colossus, even Liliana's Mastery. This big push into zombies in the most recent sets means that people are excited about zombies, but they have a lot of the cards already, and I don't think that they need to be playing zombies in their commander decks if they're also playing it in Standard. The next most popular tribe is Goblins. Goblins, helmed usually by Krenko Mob Boss, is a very powerful strategy, and I do think that Goblins have a chance of entering into the Commander 2017 decks. Goblins are great because they work really well together. Goblin Recruiter, Goblin Ringleader, and Goblin Matron all search more goblins, giving you a lot of goblin synergy. Goblin Lackey, Warren Instigator, and Mog Catcher all take goblins and put them straight onto the battlefield, and Goblin Chieftain and Goblin War Chief will give your goblins a buff, either reduce their mana cost, give them haste, it doesn't matter. But these goblins are working really well together, and this is a pretty well-known strategy. This is the second most common tribe, so it's going to be pretty popular. Now, if they don't print goblins in Commander 2017, may I suggest to you Wart Boggart Ante, Grenzo Dungeon Warden, and Shattergang Brothers. All of these are great goblin commanders, and if you want to go with the classic, Krenko Mob Boss is really, really good. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on goblins. They're great, but I don't think they really need a reprint, but I think they're so popular, Wizards might reprint them anyways. The third most popular tribe in Commander, Elves. Now, Elves I don't think is going to get a reprint in Commander 2017 because Freyalise Llanowar's Fury was basically an elf deck. They don't need to print another elf commander deck. I have all of those staples from when I bought Freyalise before, so no need to make another commander deck. The fourth most popular tribe is Dragons. And if you haven't heard, Dragons will be one of the 4 tribes featured in Commander 2017. There are some really cool dragons that have been leaked, but I don't want to talk about the new dragons. I want to talk about why they chose dragons. Dragons are super popular. Everyone loves dragons. Dragons have a varying degrees of reprintability. Some of them are very cool but very, very cheap, and others of them are a little bit more expensive, maybe too expensive. Also, there aren't a lot of really good dragon commanders. There's Scion of the Ur-Dragon, and then there's a lot of ones that have weird color combinations involved. I personally have a Jund Karthus dragon deck, and Karthus isn't even that great. He's a pretty underwhelming general. I'm excited about this Dragons deck, and I think it'll be a perfect fit. Now let's explore what other tribes could be featured in Commander 2017. The first perspective tribe I want to talk about is Spirits. So Spirit Tribal doesn't really have a good commander. A lot of people run Carador Ghost Chieftain. He is a spirit, but doesn't really synergize with a lot of the other spirits. And Carador is super duper powerful, so people often go after the Carador deck when they shouldn't if you're playing tribal spirits. So there really needs to be something in between, and maybe something even with an additional color. There's a few spirits in blue that are very exciting, and Carador doesn't give you access to that. Some people also run Iname as 1 is their commander, and despite being a 12 mana cost 8/8, you have to cast it from your hand in order to get the effect. So there really isn't a spirit general that I'm excited about. One thing that I really like about a potential tribe is being able to hit every point up and down the mana curve, and also in the different categories you want in an EDH deck. Ramp, card draw, win conditions, all sorts of stuff. That does mean that a tribe like Dragons, where everything costs 5 CMC or greater, really, suffers a little bit, I think, from tribal synergies. But spirits don't do that. Look at these 2 cards that have mana ramp built in. Petalmane, Baku, and Loam Dweller. They're excellent. We also got a little bit of card draw in Elder Pine of Juke, Haruuna, and Sire of the Storm. All of them at varying mana costs, all of them doing the things we want to do in Commander. I did not play during Kamigawa, so you're going to have to excuse me as I butcher these names. Next up, Oibwai, who split the heavens. By the way, the art on this is spectacular. And whenever you play a Spirit Arcane spell, you get a 3/3 white spirit. I mean, it's just great. There's also a full complement of spirits that were recently printed. Selfless, the Herald, Rattle Chains, Spectral Shepherd, and also a classic that I saw reprinted in Modern Masters, Thief of Hope. Let's talk about the Kirins. Bounteous Kirin lets you gain life. Celestial Kirin destroys permanents of the same CMC. That's super powerful. And Infernal Kirin takes things out of your opponent's hands. These cards are really cool and interesting, and they never see play because they can't all be in a spirit deck together. Drogskull Captain buffs your creatures and gives them hexproof. And Kadama of the South Tree can pump your whole team, and Seki Season's Guide can make a whole team. Spirit Tribal also has a lot of great interaction with the library and the graveyard. Soul Shift is a really powerful mechanic that lets you get back spirits from the graveyard. An Aim as One is even more insane because it gets it straight out of your deck onto the battlefield. The Death aspect can let you put a ton of stuff into your graveyard, and the Life aspect lets you refill your hand. There's a lot of great interaction going on with these spirits. I'm really stoked to play them. If only there was a good commander for them. So a few reasons why I think they'd be great as a commander deck. They need a commander. They're very synergistic. They work really well together. And there's a deep card pool that moves all up and down your mana curve and highlights different aspects of gameplay. Some of the cons for spirits, why they would not be included in Commander 2017, they're a little complicated. You got soul shifting. It's an old mechanic. It's from a set that was wildly unpopular. I don't know. That kind of leads into it. Are people hyped for spirits? Are people excited and say, I really want to play a spirit deck? Spirits could be really fun, and let me tell you, they are really fun, but people need to take the commander deck off the shelf at their store. I also have to wonder, is 4 colors a thing now? Was that a gimmick of the last commander set? Or are they totally cool with making a 4-color spirit commander? Because I want a redless spirit commander. Now, if they don't print spirits, what are you going to do? Well, I think I would run Ravos Soul Tender to give even more graveyard synergies, and Thrasios Triton Hero, mostly to get the colors, but also his scry ability is good. The next potential tribe is Angels. I think Angels are very iconic in Magic, almost as iconic as dragons, and it would be a shame not to see some great Angel action. And to be fair, even though there aren't a lot of great Angel generals, they're very highly represented in Commander decks. I mean, most people will run Avacyn Angel of Hope in their Angel tribal deck. Avacyn is a powerful commander, but a little bit boring. Another strategy that uses Angels is Kaalia the Vast. Now, Kaalia is a great combination of colors and is being reprinted in the new Commander anthology. So maybe Angels have been a little bit oversaturated in the system. In fact, From the Vault Angels was released, I don't know. So there might be too many Angels out there already, but I think that they're so iconic, just like dragons, that we might want to grab onto them and have a commander deck based around them. I also have to say how Maelstrom Archangel is just a total miss that it's not legendary. This card is so cool. I really think they need a commander that can fill the role that Maelstrom Archangel didn't, because it can't. Angels have some cool synergy like Bruna the Fading Light or Herald of War, but they don't have a ton of synergy. They're mostly just powerful on their own. Sometimes they also have synergy with humans. So maybe we'll have like an angel human type deck. Maybe they'll kind of come together a little bit. That could be cool for tribal. Lets you go in one direction or the other. You could get rid of a bunch of angels and then add some humans and make it a human deck. Or you can get rid of some of the humans and then have more of an angel deck with some human support. I think you're going to find that the humans and the angels work really well together, and that could be an angle that Wizards takes to kind of please more people in terms of these tribes. Another reason why the angels deck could be really good is that angels are kind of expensive when I don't think they should be. Baneslayer Angel isn't played anywhere, but it's such a cool angel. He's 10 bucks, and that's the bad from the Vault Angels printing. Avacyn Archangel of Hope is like 25. Again, weird printing. Archangel of Thune is from a pretty recent set, and she's nearing $30. Okay, all of these are great opportunities for reprints of these cool angels, and the reason why the prices are so high for all of these is just because people like them. And that's one of the biggest reasons why angels could be reprinted in Commander 2017 is because people really like them. So the pros. Needs a multicolored commander. I honestly think so. Also, they're just as iconic as dragons. Angels are a huge part of Magic, and so that should be one of the tribes that you have leading your commander tribal decks. And they're overpriced angels that really need a reprint. Some of the cons, they're powerful, but not synergistic. And also, we might have an oversaturated angel market. If you were planning on making an angel deck, I would suggest using Maelstrom Archangel and just tell your playgroup to suck it up. The next tribe I plan to explore is Elementals. Elementals are great because they're all over the color pie. They have tons of different abilities, and yet there are a few cards that help them work synergistically together. One thing that's great about Elementals is that they have a wonderful commander leading them, Horde of Notions. But that's it. They just have one commander, kind of like Scion of the Ur-Dragon a little bit, where you have sort of one big commander leading them and no real support. Horde of Notions is great though. I think that you can make a really great commander deck with Horde of Notions. But there's another reason why I think that this could be a deck that Wizards could print for Commander 2017, and that's the Elemental Beast, Grave Sifter. This is amazing. When Grave Sifter enters the battlefield, each player chooses a creature type and returns any number of cards of that type from his or her graveyard to his or her hand. I think that this could be a super fun card to play against other people that have tribal decks. That way, sort of everyone gets their stuff back. People kill the Grave Sifter to try and get their goblins back or their spirits back. I think that would be really fun. And so this is an opportunity for Wizards to have decks that are cool and balanced and play really well together. Of course, Elementals are very synergistic. Brighthearth, Banneret, Smoke Braider, and Fertilid are all Elementals that ramp you, and we're lucky enough to have a bunch of awesome elemental spells. Ingot Chewer kills an artifact, Meadow Boon kills an enchantment, Shriekmaw kills a creature, Nevermaker kills everything else. Mulldrifter draws you cards, Slithermuse draws you cards, and Revelark gets things back, and Flicker Wisps will flicker all of these and gain all of the value. Yes. All of these are great creature spells that are fun to play with. They have a lot of value in them, and you can recur them with slow but very powerful engines. And I think that's one of the keys to making a fun commander deck, is you can do a lot of things, but you're not necessarily destroying all of your other opponents that also have pre-constructed decks. There are a lot of other great elementals: Green Ward of Marasa, Flamekim Harbinger, and Incandescent Soulstoke. I also have to mention Footprints of the Stag, putting out little stag elementals. I like that a lot. But there's some really great elementals in the form of Royal Elemental, Magmatic Force designed for Commander, Vigor, an expensive but really fun card, Tidal Force, again, these forces designed for Commander, trigger on each upkeep, Baleful Force, Dread. All of these are the big splashy creatures that we really like to play in Commander. But there is one problem. Look at all of the triple mana costs in such horrible ways. These are going to be really hard to cast. So that could be one strike against elementals having a spot in Commander 2017, because if the mana base isn't right, people aren't going to have any fun. The pros of elementals in Commander 2017, they're very synergistic, and 5-color interactions are really fun. The cons? We already have a really good commander, but only one. Okay, that's kind of like dragons. We had Scion of the Ur-Dragon. Okay? Color requirements can make a budget mana base really unfun. There's a lot of triple costs in here. We got to find a way around that. We also have to ask ourselves, are there any valuable elementals to build hype? Does anyone get excited when they see an elemental commander deck? Besides me, of course. If they don't print an elementals deck, what is your recourse? Maelstrom Wanderer is an elemental and a really, really fun card to play with. You are going to run into the issue that some people have with Carador Ghost Chieftain. They'll see Maelstrom Wanderer and they'll think your deck is broken and attack you when all you're doing is cascading into elementals. There's also nothing wrong with good old Horde of Notions, a very fun deck to build. The next possible tribe is Merfolk. See, Merfolk don't have a real good commander. The best one we have is Sig River Guide, and Sig is kind of underwhelming. Not only is he weirdly legless in this art, but also he just doesn't do what we want Merfolk to do. When we think of Merfolk, we think of the Lords. We think of Lord of Atlantis and Master of the Pearl Trident, Merfolk Sovereign and Marrow Reedry. We think of the classic Merfolk. Even the powerful cards like Marrow Conference, Marrow Harbinger, Lull Mage Mentor, and Wanderwine Prophets. All of these are cool, powerful effects. Some argue that they might be too powerful. You know, the ability to tap Merfolk in order to counter spells or take extra turns, well, that might be a little bit too powerful. This also reminds me of another shared tribe, and that's Wizard. There are a lot of Merfolk wizards out there, and wizards are another popular tribe. Maybe this could be like the Angels and Humans, where we maybe split some wizards and Merfolk sort of in the same tribal deck. I think wizards have a lot of the same problems that Merfolk have. A lot of unfun abilities, onboard counter spells. Well, let's talk about the pros and cons of having a Merfolk commander in Commander 2017. The pros is that they really do need a commander. Sig just doesn't cut it. They are very synergistic and people love the Merfolk synergies. And they have a deep card pool. There's a lot of Merfolk and there are a lot of wizards too. And there need to be reprints. People play this deck in Modern. Reprints mean hype. People will want to buy the Merfolk deck. It'll have some real value in other formats. Some of the cons? Well, that could be a problem. Making a chase deck for Constructed is not ideal. Commander decks have pulled away from that. It would be really cool if they printed a Legacy Merfolk staple in this deck. It would also kind of suck as all the Legacy players maybe went out and bought this deck and we had a True Name Nemesis situation again. I don't know. Also, there's a lot of mechanics that are unfun for casuals. Island walk, extra turns, onboard counters. Casual players might not really like that. Oh wait, you can't block any of my team and I'm going to counter your spell. And there's not a lot of fun interaction in the Merfolk tribe. That's what makes them very powerful, but not very fun against other pre-constructed decks. If they don't print a Merfolk commander in Commander 2017, I suggest Sig River Cutthroat. This Merfolk will let you draw cards as you get your Merfolk damage in and lets you splash a little bit of black. In summary, these are the tribes that I think we'll see print in Commander 2017. Number 1, Dragons. Called it, guys. Called it. Number 2, Goblins. They're so popular, they're so synergistic, and they haven't been printed in a while. It's a no-brainer. Number 3, Angels. Maybe with a subclass of humans. That's a little bit of a stretch. I don't think a lot of people are calling 2 tribes in one. But Angels are so iconic, I think that they will earn their spot. It feels very magic-y. Number 4, Merfolk. They're so popular and everyone loves to play them in Modern. Let's play them in Commander 2. Number 5, Spirits. I think this is really cool and I really want it to be in there. Number 6, Elementals. Wizards might put a priority on having 5 colored decks, and so Elementals would be a perfect inclusion. Guys, if you want to build these tribal decks or want me to give you a more detailed deck tech on them, go ahead and leave a comment below. And what tribes do you think will be in Commander 2017? These are the tribes I think will be included, but I would really like to be proven wrong. I would love to have a ninja deck or a snake deck or something like that. So I really am excited about these tribal decks. And I want to remind you that this is Jumbo Commander, and thank you for watching. You can find me on Twitter at Jumbo Commander, or you can send me an email, jumbocommander@gmail.com, or talk to me in the comments below. Thanks everyone. I'll see you next week.